Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo with the September 4th, 2024, 238th edition. Colleen Daniels, she's out there in Studio West, and we're here with the About Mansfield news team. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
City of Mansfield purchases 100-acre woods.
Local hospital board president is honored.
City accepting vendor applications for Veterans Day parade.
The last laugh of summer goes to the dogs. And in sports, we set the stage for Friday Night Lights and girls volleyball.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his in-studio interview with Olympic athletes Joseph Brown and Jacob Fincham-Jukes, having just returned from the Summer Olympics in Paris. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Navigating the ever-changing real estate market can be exhausting. At the Hornburg Real Estate Group at One West, our team of experts help make the most of your home selling goals. From the ability to bring buyers multiple cash offers, offer different ways to sell your home, and even offer pay-at-close vendors, we help you get top dollar. We have a robust marketing strategy to ensure you always have options to get your home sold in the way that makes the most sense for you. Each agent at the Hornburg Real Estate Group has been expertly trained and has years of experience behind them. Find out why our clients consistently rate us 5 stars year after year. Call or text us at 817-264-7087. Again, that's 817-264-7087. Or visit us online at homesbyhrg.com.
This is Paul Duncan with Trinity Solar Services. That's right, solar. Back in the 1960s, NASA used solar cells in their space missions. But get this, the very first solar cells were actually invented back in 1883. Solar energy has made great strides over the past 140 years, but one theme remains constant: solar works. Solar panels are the MVPs of renewable energy. While reducing carbon emissions and taking a stand against climate change, solar panels can also help to greatly reduce your electric bill. Trinity Solar Services is your sun-powered solutions, and we want to deck out your home with top-notch Tier 1 panels without breaking the bank. Reach out to us today for a complimentary quote. Trinity Solar Services is a Mansfield-based company that's all about building relationships through good old-fashioned, family-owned business values. Find us online at trinitysolarservices.com. That's trinitysolarservices.com.
This is Randall Kennedy, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
The City of Mansfield has purchased 100 acres of undeveloped land between West Broad Street and Newt Patterson Road to serve as a future nature preserve. One of the largest park additions in the city's history, the project will include an expansive network of soft and solid surface trails for fitness, nature exploration, and mountain biking that will connect to Walnut Creek Linear Park. This 100-acre nature park will help facilitate the completion of Mansfield's Walnut Creek Linear Trail. It will also contribute towards the City Council's vision for the Western Promise, a special area plan designed to improve overall connectivity and opportunity for Western Mansfield. This plan includes creating a new road and bridge crossing over Walnut Creek to connect Newt Patterson Road and West Broad Street, which will provide north-south access to residents in western Mansfield and spur planned growth in the region. The park property is being designed in conjunction with a 600-home development called West Hill Parks, which will also include retail and a future neighborhood services facility. Dallas-based Realty Capital will take the reins on developing the neighborhood. They have developed multiple projects in Mansfield, including Main Street Lofts and the 77-acre mixed-use community of Watson Branch.
And Colleen, chairman of Methodist Health System Board, Randall Kennedy, has been honored with the prestigious Kearney Ledet Senior Trustee of the Year Award by the DFW Hospital Council. Kennedy was recognized for his 2 decades of dedicated service to Methodist Health System, including his roles as chair of the Methodist Mansfield Medical Center Advisory Board and the MHS Board of Directors. Kennedy has been instrumental in advocating for legislation that protects Texas hospital workers from assault, showcasing his commitment to healthcare safety and worker protection. His extensive financial experience, gained during his 31 years as president of Frost Bank here in Mansfield, has been pivotal in strengthening Methodist Health System's financial stability and contributing to its robust operating margin. Additionally, Kennedy played a role in advocating for the new hospital in Salina, reinforcing his dedication to expanding healthcare access in North Texas. Named in memory of the former Texas Health Resources Board member, the Kearney Ledet Senior Trustee Award celebrates trustees who have demonstrated excellence throughout their careers. Kennedy will be honored at the DFW Hospital Council's 76th Annual Awards Luncheon on October 18th at the Lowe's Arlington Convention Center, where he will be recognized along with other healthcare leaders for their contributions to the North Texas community.
The city of Mansfield announced that they are now accepting applications for participants and floats for the Mansfield Veterans Day Parade. The annual celebration of those who served our country will be held on Saturday, November 9th at 10 in the morning. Artists, vendors, and exhibitors have until October 28th to submit their applications. Parade organizers state that the majority of the parade entries will be floats with veterans, and a very limited number of entries will be allowed that do not have veterans on their floats. The parade route this year will start at the Field of Flags on Broad Street at Willow Street, across from the sub-courthouse. Travel east to Wisteria Street, where it will make a U-turn and proceed west on Broad and conclude at R.L. Anderson Stadium. A patriotic salute concert will also take place at the front steps of City Hall. Interested participants can access the application from the City of Mansfield website at mansfieldtexas.gov. Enter Veterans Day Parade in the search bar.
Calling all dogs and their best friends, Hawaiian Falls is partnering with the city of Mansfield to host an end-of-summer doggy swim. It's called the Lucky Luau. It will be held at Hawaiian Falls, Mansfield on Sunday, September 15th from noon to 3, as pups of all sizes get to gallop about the wave pool and splash around the small dog island. It's one last splash of summer before the pools are drained and the park starts preparing for the off-season. The Lucky Luau benefits the City of Mansfield Animal Care and Control's Lucky Fund, which helps provide medical care for stray pets. Everyone must pre-register online before Friday, September 13th. Head on over to the city website at mansfieldtexas.gov and type in Lucky Luau in the search bar. The first week of Friday Night Lights is in the books, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grand View Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grand View has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grand View Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube, Wealth Building Made Simple.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, week 1 in high school football is now in the books as the 5 MISD teams wound up with 2 wins and 3 losses. In the win column, Timberview topped Dallas Kimball 20-6, and your Mansfield Tigers bested Mesquite 38-20. Elsewhere, Lake Ridge was defeated by Frisco Reedy. Legacy was outplayed by Justin Northwest, while Summit was down by Louisville. Highs and lows from around the state. The highest scoring game last week, San Marcos Hill Country Christian, 88. Corpus Christi Incarnate Word, 62. And the lowest scoring game in the state, Granbury 3, Waco 0. This week's matchups include Timberview at Denton Ryan Thursday night. Under the lights on Friday, Lake Ridge plays Haltom at R.L. Anderson. Legacy travels to Chisholm Trail. And Summit takes on your Mansfield Tigers at Newsom Stadium. All games, home and away, start at 7 p.m. Elsewhere in sports, we got to give some props to the Lake Ridge girls volleyball team. The Lady Eagles have a season record of 24-7, having mostly played non-division tournaments during the month of August. The Lake Ridge girls have posted some pretty impressive stats, including junior Dawn Moore, who has logged 25 serving aces, the most in the 6A region, District 3. Ranked third in the district are senior Riley Davis with 137 kills, sophomore Layla Hawley with 42 total blocks, and sophomore Brooklyn Ross with 243 digs. The 12-game division season starts at home for Lake Ridge against the Mansfield Lady Tigers on Tuesday, September 17th. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, doesn't matter. You can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Again, 817-435-2938. By the way, if you listen to About Mansfield on Apple Podcasts, if you wouldn't mind taking a few seconds and leave us a 5-star review, the higher our ranking, the easier it is for future listeners to find our podcast. Thank you. This Friday, September 6th, is National Read a Book Day, a perfect occasion for book enthusiasts to dive into that novel they've been eyeing for a while. It's also a great opportunity for those who usually don't read to give books a shot and explore the rich world of literature. Books offer a wonderful escape from our everyday routines and play a vital role in broadening our knowledge and challenging our perspectives. So this Friday, on Read a Book Day, turn off your TV, set your phone aside, and immerse yourself in a good book. The Mansfield Public Library is a great place to start. By the way, what have you been reading lately? Send me an email to news@aboutmansfield.com with your latest book. We'll post the results.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Tourism manager Tim Roberts gets us up to date in the cultural arts calendar.
Breast cancer is the second most common cancer among women. But the good news is that when we detect it early, the chances of successful treatment are significantly higher. I'm Angel Biasatti, and you'll hear more with Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
What's happening with all of the changes in the real estate industry as far as commissions are concerned? I'm Angela Hornburg, and we'll talk about it in the Mansfield Real Estate Update.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, picture a cocktail that's like someone took a safari through Kentucky armed only with a shaker and a bad attitude.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
Congratulations to Angel Woolridge, who knew that Dr. Kimberly Cantu was hired as a teacher and coach at Mansfield High School in 1993. When we come back, this week's trivia question. This is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right here, right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia at About Mansfield, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. I mention this almost every week now. Not everyone wins on a Wednesday. So if you're listening on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever, give it a shot. You may be taking home a $25 restaurant gift card. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, the city of Mansfield recently broke ground on a new entertainment district, which will be called Staybolt Street in honor of our city's founders, Ralph Mann and Julian Field. Today's trivia question is, what is a staybolt? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, what is a staybolt? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, I'm Lane today with Daydream Photography, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section.
If it's the first week of the month, it must be time for the Mansfield Cultural Arts Calendar. And as we do at the first of the month of each month, we bring in the tourism manager for the city of Mansfield, Tim Roberts. Welcome back to About Mansfield.
Great to be back. Great to talk about some fall events. We're closing in. I think the 100-degree days are almost over.
It's feeling good. And actually today, the day that we're recording, it's raining outside, so it feels good.
Yeah.
Let's get into, oh my gosh, the Far Best Theater is rocking this week.
Yeah. I mean, once we start off the fall, that's when we really get kicking. You can find the full fall calendar at MansfieldTexasArts.org. But going through September, first and foremost, open mic night. It's become such a staple of the month. It's September 5th, actually a week earlier than usual. So if you usually have it in your calendar for that second week of the month, a week earlier, September 5th at 7:30 p.m. It's such a great welcoming environment. It's becoming an absolute fan favorite. Come out, support your local artists, get your kids out there. If you've got a talent, no matter how good you are at it, it's a welcoming place for you to try it out and, get some confidence going.
Okay. And so that's Thursday, September 5th. The 6th, what's also going on at the FAR?
We have the Give a Laugh Comedy Benefit Show. It's going to be a comedy show with a couple of improv groups coming in. It benefits Echo Education, which is a local nonprofit that hosts educational excursions for students across the DFW area. It is 18 plus. So, sometimes we hear from people, hey, we want things more adult themed at the Far Best Theater. We have a lot of family friendly entertainment, but this is a show. Leave the kids at home. This is going to be a fun one. And as with all improv type shows, if you walk into that theater, you may end up on that stage. Ooh. So be ready to be a part of the show at the Give a Laugh Comedy Benefit Show.
Rated mature.
Rated M for mature, R for R. Nothing that's gonna, scar you for life. But yeah, no kiddos at this one.
And then we get to express our artistic side on Saturday.
Yeah, our new Intro to Pocket Sketching class. It'll teach you how to, have your sketching equipment on you at all times. Find your inspiration out in the field. That's Saturday, September 7th at 10 a.m.
And then we move into the next week. We got something on the 14th and the 15th, both at the Far Best Theater.
Yep. Art Therapy Workshop. Again, that's the monthly thing from Heidi Turno Studios. It's great for those who are working on their counseling degrees. You actually get continuing education credit for it. Even if you're not going through a program like that, it's just a great place to come and learn. That Saturday morning, September 14th at 9 a.m. And then Sunday afternoon, Will Baffle returns for the first of his fall series at the Far Best Theater. He's the magician, Show of Wonders, just so much fun. He's got a couple of really big shows planned throughout the fall. So this is the first kickoff for each month. That's September 15th at 3 p.m.
We moved later into the month. It looks like the 20th and the 21st. My good friend Taronda Hillman is back on stage.
Poise Productions brings their thought-provoking, conversation-starting show Reparations back to the Far Best Theater. We had it about a year and a half ago, I believe. We're going to have it in June. Had to move it to September. So now September 20th and 21st at 7:30 p.m. Locally produced, locally written. So everything about it, just, a Mansfield flair on that stage those 2 nights.
And then we move into the last weekend of the month and Shakespeare.
Yeah, the Troop Theater, a brand new theater organization here in Mansfield. This is going to be September 27th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be the end of their intensive class, their intensive workshop. So it's a month long. All the actors, most of them young, will get their scripts, get their characters, put together the entire show in less than a month. So their big showcase will be September 27th at 7:30 p.m.
And it's called?
Oh, Much Ado About Nothing. We said Shakespeare. I'm just going to leave you hanging. Untitled Shakespeare play. No, it's not the one that curses theaters. It's just Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing. And then the last weekend of the month, my friends, the Mariposas.
Mariposas de Mansfield has their Hispanic Heritage Month talent show. It's their second year of this. It's going to be on September 29th at 6 p.m. I will tell you, this show, I think we're down at single-digit seats left. So if you're hearing this and you want to come check this out or be a part of it, you need to go right now and find those tickets at MansfieldTexasArts.org because this show is almost completely sold out. It was a great time last year. They're such a great organization, and now they are back for the second year and going well.
Let's wrap this up with a couple of reminders.
Yes, obviously, don't forget every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to noon, the Mansfield Farm and Cottage Market is at 703 East Broad Street, and now that we are beyond 98 degrees at 8 a.m. It's a very good time to come out there, get your fall produce. They got some fun events planned over the next few weeks. And then a reminder that our Haunted Mansfield calendar is now live at hauntedmansfieldtexas.com. Now, we'll go over all those events next month for our October calendar, but you're going to check that out right now because some of those events, especially our ghost hunts, we're having 2 at the Mann House and 2 at the Far Best Theater this year. Those things usually sell out a month ahead of time. Wow. Very limited spots. So if you're into something like that, check out hauntedmansfieldtexas.com ASAP.
You gave out a couple of web addresses again, hauntedmansfieldtexas.com, and then the arts website is
MansfieldTexasArts.org.
There, .org.
.org.
Okay.
Yes, that's an org. Hauntedmansfieldtexas.com. Got to get them all straight.
That is the Mansfield Cultural Arts Calendar. That is Tim Roberts, the tourism manager for the city of Mansfield. Tim, go forth. We'll see you in a month.
Yeah, see you in October.
Angel Biasatti is here to talk about your health in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
We'll begin by discussing the early detection of breast cancer with breast surgeon Katrina Birdwell and bringing you important information about the basics of breast cancer and how women can protect themselves through mammograms. breast cancer is the second most common cancer among women. But the good news is that when we detect it early, the chances of successful treatment are significantly higher. Today, we're talking with Katrina Birdwell, breast surgeon on the medical staff at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. And what can you do to stay on top of your breast health? Dr. Birdwell?
Thank you, Angel, and thanks for inviting me. Just wanted to let our audience know that early detection of breast cancer matters. Breast cancer can be a silent disease in its earliest stages. Often, there are no obvious signs or symptoms, and by the time you notice something unusual, the cancer could have already advanced. That's why regular screening is so important. Early detection means that finding the cancer before it has a chance to spread and also makes the treatment easier and more effective. The statistics are clear. When breast cancer is detected in its earliest stages, the 5-year survival rate is nearly 99%. That's a powerful reason to prioritize regular screening mammograms.
What is a mammogram, Dr. Birdwell?
It is a low-dose X-ray that allows the doctor to look for changes in the breast tissue. It can detect tumors that are too small to be felt, often years before a physical symptom would develop. For women age 40 and older, it's recommended that you have a mammogram every year, depending upon your individual risk factors. Women with a family history of breast cancer may need to start screening earlier. Some women may feel apprehensive about getting a mammogram, whether it's the discomfort of the procedure or the fear of finding out something wrong, or simply not knowing what to expect. But here's the thing. A few moments of discomfort could truly save your life. The peace of mind comes with knowing that your breast health is well worth it. It's also important to remember that mammograms are just one part of a comprehensive approach to breast health. Self-exams and exams done by clinical providers on your healthcare team can also play an important role. By combining these methods, you can increase the likelihood of catching any potential issue early.
Thank you, Dr. Birdwell, for being here today. At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we're committed to providing you with the best possible care. Our state-of-the-art mammogram services inside the breast center are designed to make your screening experience as comfortable as possible. We have a compassionate team, along with a breast cancer survivor and nurse navigator, ready to guide you through the process and answer any questions you may have. So don't wait. Call 214-933-7200. If you're 40 or older, schedule your mammogram today. Encourage your friends, sisters, mothers, daughters to do the same. And if you're under 40, talk to your doctor about your risk factors and when you should start getting screened. Remember, early detection is key. A mammogram could be the difference between catching breast cancer early or finding it too late. Let's make sure we're all doing our part to stay healthy and strong. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for About Mansfield podcast.
Angela Hornburg addresses all that's real estate in the Mansfield Real Estate Market Update. Angela?
The National Association of Realtors was recently sued, along with several large national brands. The lawsuit outlined that the defendants colluded to remove competition from the real estate market. The plaintiffs won the case, and as part of the settlement, the Department of Justice outlined specific remedies that needed to take place. Those changes were to take effect by August 17th of this year. The changes required of the real estate industry are twofold. The first being changes to the contracts for sellers, and the second being changes with how buyers hire and pay their agents who represent them. In Texas, our new listing agreements have new verbiage outlining the fees paid by sellers. Because commissions have never been set by the government, the state, or anyone for that matter, they have always fluctuated. The lawsuit accused the defendants of standardizing commission to reduce competition in the marketplace. Consumers sometimes thought that there was a standard fee to sell a home, which was never the case. Listing commissions are negotiable and set by each agent. This is why agents with proven track records and high accolades often charge higher rates than those who are new agents or don't offer the same value. This is comparable to hiring an attorney and reviewing their hourly rates in comparison to their track record of success. The other verbiage that is specifically outlined in the new listing agreements for sellers is that sellers are not required to offer a buyer's agent any commission. The seller has never been required to do that, but now it specifically calls that out. Since buyer agency was created in the 2000s in Texas, sellers have grown accustomed to offering buyer's agents commission, as they realized if they don't, the buyer would be paying their agent's commission, which makes their home less desirable against the competition. The same is still true today, and especially in our market, which is a balanced market right now. For buyers, the changes now require a buyer to sign a representation agreement with an agent prior to viewing a home. Before, buyers may have made a verbal agreement with their agent to allow them to represent them. Truthfully, agents were always supposed to have a signed agreement prior to showings, but it was not required, and then waited to sign an agreement until they made an offer. That is no longer the case. Agents are required to have written permission to represent a buyer prior to showing them the home or homes they're interested in. This may come as a shock to some buyers when an agent asks for an agreement right off the bat. The other change relating to buyers is that agents can now offer showing services as an a la carte offering. What that means is that buyers can now pay agents a fee, typically by the hour or by the house, to show them houses only, and then decide if they want to represent them later. Some agents will offer this and some agents will not offer this, so the available services per agent will vary. What does this mean to you as a consumer? This means you will have more transparent information up front, whether you are buying or selling. You will also have more options to choose from when it comes to buyer services as well. Don't be afraid to ask your agent questions about what they offer. Great agents are worth their weight in gold and will be vital in helping you through the biggest investment most folks will ever make. Don't let the media hype you up on these changes. Their clickbait titles are just that. These changes are simple and pragmatic in our market. We don't expect dynamic changes to how real estate is practiced right now based on the current changes. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Angela Hornburg, broker with One West Real Estate.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain grabs the lion by the tail in the cocktail of the week. Brian.
This week's cocktail of the week is the lion's tail. So this month, we're going to raise our glass to Bourbon Heritage Month, a spirited journey through America's native spirit. Welcome bourbon enthusiasts and curious sippers alike to a month-long celebration of America's beloved native spirit. As we usher in Bourbon Heritage Month, we're embarking on a flavorful adventure that plays homage to the rich history, the craftsmanship, and the versatility of bourbon whiskey. Throughout this month, we'll be exploring a carefully created selection of bourbon cocktails that showcase the depth and complexity of this iconic spirit. But since bourbon is such a key ingredient, as the senior pastor, chief storyteller, and master mixologist for bourbongospel.com, innovative modern creations that push the boundaries of mixology, our journey will take your taste buds on a roller coaster of flavors. So whether you're a seasoned bourbon aficionado or a newcomer to the world of whiskey, this series has something for everyone, and we'll delve into the stories behind each cocktail, uncover mixing techniques that bring out the best in bourbon, and perhaps even dispel a few myths along the way. Be prepared to discover lesser-known gems that deserve a spot in your cocktail repertoire. We'll be featuring drinks that highlight bourbon's ability to play well with a variety of ingredients from fresh fruits to herbs to exotic liqueurs and bitters. So dust off your bar tools, stock up on your favorite bourbons, and let's get ready to raise a glass, or several, to the spirit that embodies American craftsmanship and tradition. So whether you're mixing these drinks yourself, entertaining friends, or simply expanding your cocktail knowledge, this Bourbon Heritage Month celebration promises to be an enlightening and delicious experience. So remember, as we embark on this spirited journey, to always drink responsibly and savor every sip. After all, good bourbon, like good company, should be appreciated slowly and mindfully. Let the bourbon flow and the celebration begin. Cheers to Bourbon Heritage Month. And since all this month is actually Bourbon Heritage Month, it's only fitting to spotlight a cocktail that embodies the spirit of adventure and the rich complexity of America's native spirit. Enter the Lion's Tail, a drink that roars with flavor and boasts a history as intriguing as its name. The Lion's Tail first appeared in print in the 1937 Café Royale cocktail book compiled by William J. Tarling. And despite its British origin, this cocktail is unmistakably American in spirit. The name is thought to be a reference of the idiom of twisting the lion's tail, a 19th century phrase provide provocative actions by Americans toward the British, symbolized by the lion. Interestingly, the drink fell into obscurity for decades before being rediscovered during the cocktail renaissance of the early 2000s. Its revival is a testament to the timeless appeal of well-crafted bourbon cocktails. Why is it the perfect cocktail to start Bourbon Heritage Month? Number one, it's a bourbon showcase. The cocktail allows the bourbon to shine while complementing its unique flavors. Two, historical significance. The revival mirrors the resurgence and interest of classic bourbon cocktails. Complexity. This demonstrates bourbon's versatility in mixing with various flavors. American spirit. Despite its British origins, it's a celebration of America's native spirit, bourbon. And finally, a conversation starter. With its unique name and flavor profile, it makes the perfect cocktail to start a Bourbon Heritage Month. But don't worry about taking notes. I'm giving out the ingredients and instructions. They'll always be posted on bourbongospel.com. What do we need to make this beautiful cocktail? You need 2 ounces of bourbon. You'll need half an ounce of allspice dram. It's a pimento dram. A half ounce of fresh lime juice, a half ounce of simple syrup, and 2 to 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. You'll need ice and a lemon twist for garnish. Instructions. Fill a cocktail shaker with ice. Add the bourbon, the allspice dram, the fresh lime juice, the simple syrup, and the Angostura bitters to the shaker. Top and shake vigorously for 10 to 15 seconds. Strain the mixture into a chilled coupe or cocktail glass. Then garnish with a lime twist, expressing the oils over the drink before dropping it in. The Lion's Tail is a perfect embodiment of what makes bourbon cocktails so beloved. The bourbon provides a robust, oaky foundation, while the allspice dram adds a complex spice note and hints at the bourbon's own nuanced flavors. The lime juice also brings necessary brightness, balancing the richness of the bourbon and the warmth of the spices. A touch of simple syrup smooths out the edges, while the Angostura bitters tie everything together with their aromatic depth. The cocktail is more than a drink. It's a journey through flavor and time. It connects us to the rich history of bourbon while demonstrating the spirit's enduring relevance in the modern mixology. The Lion's Tail's challenge the palate in its uniqueness combination of flavors, much like how bourbon itself challenges and rewards the discerning drinker. So as you raise a glass to this month's Bourbon Heritage Month, consider making a Lion's Tail. It's more than a cocktail, it's a liquid history lesson. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much Native American spirit is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of Steve's follow-up interview with Olympic athletes Joseph Brown and Jacob Fincham-Jukes.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Olympian athlete Jasmine Moore, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. Today, we present the conclusion of our interview with Mansfield-based Olympic athletes, discus thrower Joseph Brown and long jumper Jacob Fincham-Jukes. Enjoy. Let's talk about Paris. Since you mentioned your wife and going around the city, did you obviously then had a chance to go out into the city? Let's start with Joe. Did you get a chance to, whether it's the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, Sacré-Cœur up at the top of the hill, did you have a chance to go out and see the city?
I did. So I went out a couple days with my family and my friends and everybody. I didn't go to the Eiffel Tower just because we had went over there for
Joe,
the
I told you to go to the Eiffel Tower.
I know, but we went there for the opening ceremony. So I was like, I saw it already. I don't need to see it again. But we went to the Louvre, but we didn't go in. We just walked around on top. Mm-hmm. And we went to the Arc. We went all over the place. We went to the Champs-Elysees mm-hmm. and just a lot of places over there. I can't even remember all the places we went.
Jacob.
Yeah, I did a similar thing, like the Champs-Elysees with all the stores and stuff down that way, and obviously it leads from the Arc de Triomphe. So we kind of saw all that area, and then a couple kind of cathedral areas in the nearby. When I was walking around on the 7th, we didn't go crazy into some of the touristy places where we knew it was going to be busy like that. We saw a lot of actual Paris as opposed to that. I know she had gone and done all the Louvre stuff, but I didn't get the chance to do that. But I had my day in Paris, and that's all I needed.
If I recall from the interviews prior to the Olympics, this was your first time in Paris for both of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your expectation of the city, and did it meet those expectations?
I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I'd heard good stuff about Paris, and I'd heard really bad stuff about Paris.
Yeah.
I've had
Parisians are very
you've had people go and be like, I think the common one is it's similar to New York. It can be quite trashy and it can be smelly in some areas and stuff like that. Yeah. Was a little bit of that. From hands of saying there was a little bit of that, but less than I expected. So. Mm-hmm. I'd say more towards the positive from Paris. I'd heard bad stuff, so I was kind of going in with low expectations, but, kind of outperformed that.
Joe?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really have much expectations of anything. I had heard that they were rude to Americans and they didn't like us. So that's the only thing I was expecting like that. And then to get pickpocketed. That's the only
You got pickpocketed?
No, I didn't get pickpocketed. I was expecting to. But I was prepared for that, and so I was just I was always on guard and just ready for anything like that to happen. But yeah, it was cool. I did think it was like New York, where it was just a lot of people and there was graffiti in some places and all sorts of life in all of the places. So you could see people sleeping on the streets and trash in certain places, but it's that's just part of life.
I think there were a lot of people because there was a big event going on in town. Yeah. And back when we visited Paris back in 2010, it wasn't terribly busy. But and I went in with that same attitude of Parisians hate Americans. And were you able to ride the metro? Yes.
Yeah, I got a little bit of metro routing when we went into Paris.
I was on it every day after the competition.
By the season pass.
Yeah. No, they gave us phones.
On the phones, yeah.
So they gave us a Galaxy phone, and it had a pass on it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me as well. On my way back, I actually got Tony Hawk to sign that phone.
Really?
I ran into Tony Hawk.
Wow.
And I had him sign the phone. So I've got that Olympic phone, and they obviously had that leather back case you could put on it. But yeah, I got Tony Hawk to sign that. I was like, what? No, the Tony Hawk is
the Tony Hawk,
a legend. So I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
The world's best skateboarder.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Did you get any autographs while you were there?
No, I didn't.
Joe says no. And other than Tony Hawk,
that was the only one I got. It's the only time I ever even considered it, just nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Big question of the day. Did you get to meet Snoop Dogg?
No.
I mean, because apparently he was everywhere.
He was everywhere, but just not where I was.
Yeah, same.
What's the best meal you had in Paris? In the city, not at the Olympic Village?
No, not really. I had a couple.
I didn't either because, like I said, I was only went round on the 7th, so I had like a lunch at a random restaurant or whatever. But that was really I didn't get to experience like a proper meal. I had set up a reservation for me and my wife to go on. It was like a riverboat tour, and they provided you meal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we were waitlisted for the evening of the 7th, and they said, "Oh yeah, well, we'll send you a message if if a spot opens up." Never got the message, so didn't get to do that, unfortunately. Which would have been nice because it was like an open top boat. It takes you down the river, and you go past all these sites and stuff like that. But didn't have a spot. It was busy.
Oh, my wife, she had a completely different experience. She had lots of good food everywhere she went. She loved everything.
Such as?
She had like some French toast for breakfast one day.
They just call it toast there.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it. But she had some French toast. Her sister had like a toast with like avocado and salmon and stuff on it. Her nephew had like this amazing steak it was just like to die for, apparently. They had this hot chocolate that was like super thick. And it was just like amazing.
there is a cafe that supposedly has like the best hot chocolate in the world. So that might have been the place they went because it's somewhere like around the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Yeah. You can find it on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. But it is supposed to be like the best hot chocolate in the world.
Whether it was at the Olympic Village or in the city of Paris, what were some of the cultural differences that? Joe, you're American. Jacob, you're British, yet you've lived in America most of your life.
My adult life, about 9
your
years,
adult life, okay. Some of the cultural differences, whether it's the cultural differences between you and the people that you met from other countries, or again, in the city of Paris, something that took you by surprise or different.
I think it's more cultural differences like from Texans versus Paris than
they don't eat brisket
Americans.
in Paris, is it?
No, it's more like not there's no Southern hospitality kind of vibes, and like Texas, like people like respect your space and like they don't get all up on you and like in your bubble, but over there it's just like they're on top of you.
I mean that's kind of Europe in general. Like you're not going to get the you can walk down the street and give someone a nod here and a smile, and they might do the same thing back. You're not going to get that in Europe. People tend to be personally more reserved, but like you can be more intertwined with each other like that. I mean, for me, the biggest difference between the States and, anywhere in Europe that I'll always say anytime I'm back and forth or whatever is the food. Over here you eat and you can eat a meal and you just feel bloated afterwards. You can feel sluggish. Whereas over there in Europe, you can eat, whatever you want, which size you want. And you're never going to get any of that. And I think that comes down to the difference of food quality and stuff. So that's always like the biggest cultural differences that I notice is the difference in food and how it makes you feel.
I don't know if you get to experience this, but the Parisians walk a lot. That I guess because there aren't many places to park a car. Yeah. When we were there, we noticed that they're always walking. Whether it's in the morning, they've got a baguette underneath their arm, and they've gone down to the panaderia. Wait, that's Spanish. The boulangerie. Thank you. And they got their baguettes or their croissants, and they go back and they make their breakfast, and then they walk to the metro, which takes them to work, and then they walk from the metro to work, and they're always walking. Yeah. So that when it comes meal time, they can eat a big meal, they can eat a hearty meal. I mean, you talk about French desserts, heavy creams and stuff like that, but they're walking it off, and that's one thing that I noticed. That's the cultural difference between Americans and
I understand.
And the Parisians. You mentioned you went to some of the landmarks.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite landmark?
I think no, I don't know.
I
didn't.
I loved like the Arc de Triomphe, like seeing that, like the grandeur and the size of it, and the way it's like. all the major roads when you're taking and going kind of around these streets and stuff like that, the main driving roads that people will go on leads to the Arc de Triomphe. And like, that's obviously like a huge roundabout that tails off into other streets. So like seeing that and the kind of the size of it is.
It's one of the world's largest roundabouts.
I believe it.
It's about
enormous.
6 or 8 lanes wide. And yeah, if you get into that inside lane, you're never getting out.
Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess with like, especially how busy it was obviously the Olympics. Like all the traffic was a mess. You know, me and my friend would take an Uber and we'd be going 5 miles and it'd take 45 minutes, but just because it's just that busy and that much of a mess, but still doesn't take away from the spectacle.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought that was cool. Just everything, all roads leading into that one spot was really cool. The Eiffel Tower was cool. Like being like right up under it for the ceremony was really cool, and it twinkling, and they had a whole laser like light show going on with it, and that was like that was unforgettable. So that was really cool.
What's in the future for Joe and Jacob? 2028, we go into Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to.
That's the plan. Yeah.
That is the plan.
As long as bodies allow it.
Yeah. And finances.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to leave the country. You don't even need a passport.
That's true.
You can drive to LA in what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
So, what's the discipline then between 2024 and 2028?
I think for me, like every year when I'm coming towards the end of the year, you know, I'm already thinking about what I want to do next year, like how I can improve myself. Like I always pride myself on how much I know about me as an athlete and how much I know I can relate myself to my sport and then know how to get better. So, you know, I'm talking to my coach, like, oh yeah, we should do this next year, this next year, this next year. But you know, once the season's over in a month, I'm going to give myself my like 5 weeks to do nothing and kind of pig out a little bit and then just get back into it and do all the little things that matter. You know, as I've gotten older, I've learned more stuff I should have done when I was younger, especially about taking care of my body. So for me going forward, the next 4 years, I'll know I'll be there as long as I can be healthy enough to be there.
Yeah. Joe?
Yeah. It's pretty much the same. My season's already over, so I've already taken I took 2 weeks of just like hanging out and pigging out and eating whatever I want and no training and just trying to get my mind off of track pretty much. But yeah, now the focus is like getting stronger and getting healthy, getting like nursing all my little injuries that I've had over the season that have accumulated and getting back to 100% health, and then getting ready for next season, getting ready for World Championships next year in Tokyo. And then all the years after that to come, and then getting ready for LA.
World Championships in Tokyo. That's next year. Jacob, you also compete in that as well?
Yeah. I've got all the world ranking spots for that already in terms of points. I just need to grab a few of like the key distances. You know, this last meet I've got, I'd love to grab the automatic qualifier already, but you know, the B qualifier would be nice as well, just so I can kind of put that in my back pocket for next year already taken care of.
Sure. Joe, you mentioned healing the little injuries from. What are some typical injuries that one can get when throwing a discus?
Like the main ones that I have are a lot of mine are from in the weight room, but the ones that I have from throwing are like my shins, feet. They get like angry, so like I've had shin splints for a while, for quite a few months now. And then like earlier in the season, my foot was just like it felt like a bruise, like on the bottom of my foot, like on the pad. But I don't know, it just never went away. And it just like, it hurt to walk and hurt to do anything, hurt to flex my toes. So I'm just trying to get those healed. And then I have like wrist problems from catching cleans and doing front squats and stuff like that.
Jacob, what are some of the injuries that you can suffer from the long jump?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously with long jump, I'm sprinting as well, obviously into it, but it's mainly comes down for me like impact stuff because obviously training plyometrics, and actually doing the physical jumping causes issues with like my Achilles. I'll just continually have like sore Achilles. I have to manage it various times of the year depending on that. You know, I honestly thought I tore my calf earlier in the year. I was just running down the runway and I just felt it kind of like ping up and I was kind of like, oh, I gotta take a sec. But luckily it wasn't. So I kind of have to manage all the problems that come with that, hamstring issues. In the village in the Olympics, I was nursing kind of a hamstring thing, and thank God the physios out there were really good at their job. But you get a lot of tightness in these areas just from that overexertion and high intensity sprinting and jumping.
Does it hurt landing in the sand?
No, it actually doesn't, and people are surprised at that, especially like when I've explained it at work and stuff like that. You land in a way that my feet are going in, and then using the momentum, you're able to kind of dig in and pull your body over the top, and you're landing to the side, and your kind of arm takes that impact, and the sand's also soft. The only time you ever get any issues is you kind of overdo that. I've sometimes hit my ribs on the sand on the landing, especially if you've gone a bit too high. Yeah. So kind of over rotate a little bit in the air. But that, when you knock the wind out of you, that knocks the wind out of you hard.
The one thing I did notice, again, from watching the Olympics, something I've never noticed before, is that, say, for instance, on the long jump or a triple jump, you have little things that you put on the ground.
Yeah.
That, okay, I didn't hit the board where I was supposed to. I was a little short or I was a little long. So I'm going to move my marker.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. That, and those are important.
No, they're everything. I think people kind of downplay what it takes in terms of the outside of the actual jump portion of it. But the runway into the board, obviously you have a foul board, and that board is only 20 centimeters long with the actual little bit that's on top of it. So I'm running for about 48 meters and building up my speed and power to be at the pinnacle takeoff point. And you've got a 20%, you've got a 20 centimeter, which is about 6 inches room for error. So that run up is majorly important because you have to try and run exactly the same each time, especially in terms of the sections that I build. So for me, I have a mark about 32 feet away from the board. So I know that when I'm starting, I've got to, power out for 6 strides. I've got to then transition my speed for another 8 strides. And then I hit that marker. That's my, mental check to be like, okay, speed up and get ready for takeoff. Because it's not just all one motion of like run and jump. And if I'm over the board, I've got to move that back. If I'm short of the board, I've got to move it forward. So a bit more technical than people think.
Let's talk about the business of sports. Joe, you brought your marketing manager here. Your Jacob, marketing manager, lives in another country, the UK.
Yeah, right? I think he goes around a bit depending on the meets, but he's from Slovakia.
Oh, Slovakia.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a way to make a business out of athletics?
You're asking 2 field eventers, which unfortunately is not the best for it. I mean, there are obviously you have your world stars that are all over the place. Your Sidney McLaughlins and your Mondo Duplantis of the sport, and they're kind of front and center of that kind of thing. So for a lot of events, there's some of those people where there's the very top few. I think most people don't realize that the majority of people in track and field are making next to nothing off it. There are some people who have social media they're quite popularized on, so that can supplement income for them as well. But really, it's just a combination of how good you are, the event you do, how popular on social media. So there's a lot more factors that just play into, I'm this good at my sport.
Yeah. I think that summarizes it pretty well. Like the most money you can make is, I think, in the social media aspect of it. Like I know a couple of the Americans who are making like 6 figures from just social media stuff. And like the track part is just like, it's like a hobby. Like they don't really make money from it. It's just
but if you didn't do the hobby, you wouldn't have
the platform.
Right.
So like, it goes hand in hand. But like you could also make a little bit more money from like doing the meets overseas and getting like appearance fees, but that's still not very much compared to other sports.
Yeah, that's where it factors into like how good your agent is and his connections and getting to his or her connections into getting those meets, and then like the premier meets around the circuit where you can earn the most prize money are the diamond leagues. And even then, if you win a diamond league, it's $10,000, and then whatever else fees get taken out after that. So comparatively to other sport, the prize pool is a lot smaller, even though to be the best in the world of track and field, you've got to kind of be the pinnacle of human performance. So you've got that unfortunateness with that. But, that comes down to marketing. And I think the sport's getting a little better. Michael Johnson's throwing in his track league kind of stuff into next year and selecting the few athletes to do that. And then I know the CEO, is it the CEO of Amazon who's married to Serena Williams, who's putting on like the women's only event at the end of this year in like a couple months or something like that. Yep. So I think it's over the next few years, like the more people can view the sport, the more, sponsors will want to invest in it. And then that can kind of gradually increase the prize pool for everyone.
Yeah. I don't know who's eating Wheaties nowadays, but I'd love to see your faces on a box.
Well, that would
I'd love to be on one.
Yeah, I would love to be on one.
There you go. Yeah. In the couple of minutes we have left, I don't care who starts. You guys can flip a coin if you want, but if you want to give a shout out, I think we did this back when you were first on the podcast. But now, in terms of the Olympics or any memories, the mics are wide open, and if you want to give a little last minute thought.
Well, shout out to everybody who came out and supported. Shout out to everybody who woke up at 3:00 in the morning to watch, and that was really cool. I've heard a lot of people tell me like, I woke up at 3:00 just to watch you, and I was suffering the rest of the day, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, and then I was waking up at 3:00 every day. So shout out to all those people. Shout out to Larry for making a lot of stuff happen, and he came too.
Yeah.
Shout out to A&M Commerce for being awesome and letting me train there. And shout out to Mansfield High.
Mansfield High, the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers.
That's Joe the Thrower Brown. Jacob, any thoughts?
Yeah, family and friends who came out and supported. Especially the family came from the States to make that. You don't realize how supported you are until everyone's in one place. It's the same in my job as well. Huge shout out to them because I'm able to kind of manage both. And they work with me, I work with them. And they had a huge watch party down on our third floor. So it was like 150 people at the work just like watching my final or whatever. So that was crazy to see. And then, the physios I work with throughout the year just keep my body together. And then, ultimately wife for the huge support and that she shows me, and then my coach, wouldn't be anywhere without him. So huge shout out to him and SMU for letting me work out down there.
Jacob, I know you've got a tattoo of the Olympic rings. Joe, any new tattoos?
I didn't get mine yet.
Not yet? I wasted no time.
I'm trying to figure out where to get it.
I know a guy downtown who can hook you up. One of the best in town. Congratulations on both of you representing Team USA. Joseph, Joe the Thrower. If you want to find him on social media, just look up Joe the Thrower.
Yeah.
And Joseph Brown, again, graduate from Mansfield High School. Congratulations again. Thank you for representing Team USA.
Of course.
Representing Team UK, Jacob Fincham-Jukes. Again, thank you. Thank you for living in Mansfield. Thank you for coming on down here and doing a recap, and see you in 4 years.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank
hopefully
you for
before
us.
then. Yeah.
That's a good point. We might do something special in the next couple of years.
There you go. Thanks for being About Mansfield.
Yeah, of course.
No problem.
Thank you.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we will talk in studio with yet another wonderful Mansfield resident. You'll just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free. It's easy. Just head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com, and enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever send you any spam. We promise. About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know Angel Biasatti. Mansfield Real Estate Market Update Angela Hornburg. Cultural Arts Calendar Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner. This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio for the private use of our audience. Any use of this podcast without written consent is prohibited. We thank you all for listening. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.